Right. So today we're going to take a deep dive into something
Okay.
pretty heavy, honestly.
Yeah.
The expected return of deceased hostages to Israel.
Right.
And we're basing this off an article from the Jerusalem Post, published just yesterday, February 17th, 2025.
Very recent.
Yeah. So we're going to try to go a little deeper
Okay.
in the headlines.
Yeah.
You know, not just what's happening,
Yeah.
but the how and the why.
Absolutely. It's a very sensitive issue.
Yeah, it is.
And complex.
So one of the things that really jumped out at me
Okay.
when I was reading this was the number of bodies expected.
Right.
It said up to 8.
And
that, to me, that phrasing feels significant.
it does.
What do you think about that?
Well, I think you're right. The way they phrased it, it's really telling. It sort of speaks to the fact that this isn't, a done deal.
Yeah.
It leaves a lot of uncertainty.
Right.
And it really makes you think about the families involved.
Absolutely.
Some might find out, okay, my loved one is coming home. But others are going to be left waiting.
Yeah.
Stuck in this horrible limbo.
That's got to be just agonizing.
Yeah, it really is. And you have to wonder what's behind that uncertainty,
Yeah.
Obviously, there's negotiations happening. But there could be other factors,
Like what?
Well, the condition of the remains,
Ah.
identification might be a challenge.
Yeah.
And sadly, I hate to say it, but sometimes there are political considerations as well that we just don't know about.
Yeah. I mean, looking back, hostage situations rarely have these clean-cut endings.
No, they don't.
Everyone comes home, everything's wrapped up.
Right.
It's not usually how it goes.
No, it's messy and it's heartbreaking.
And the article says Hamas is supposed to be providing a list of names
Oh,
this morning.
that's huge.
It is, but it's almost like a double-edged sword,
It
right?
is, yeah.
On one hand, it gives some hope,
Of course.
at least a little, but on the other hand...
It just ramps up the anxiety for
Yeah.
everyone waiting.
Oh, absolutely.
And even after those names are out there, it's
Yeah.
not over.
Right.
There's still the identification process.
Which takes place in Israel.
Yes, in Israel.
Okay.
Which, again, it's necessary.
Well,
and they need to be absolutely sure.
Right.
But it just makes the wait that much longer.
Yeah. Yeah. It's like time is standing still for them, but also moving way too fast.
It's this bizarre paradox.
Yeah. And reading about the IDF vehicles ready and waiting to transport. It's just this stark image
It is.
of this whole operation underway.
Right. The logistics of it all?
Yeah. But you can't ignore the human element,
Absolutely not.
the weight of it all.
It's not just logistics, right?
Yeah.
It's about bringing people home. These individuals
Mm-hmm.
who deserve to finally rest.
Right.
But tragically, their journey doesn't end at home.
Right.
It ends with forensic experts
Yeah.
doing incredibly difficult work
To give families answers.
to give families answers and some sense of closure
After all of this,
after being ripped apart.
it's hard to fathom the emotional toll on everyone.
It's immense.
Everyone involved, the soldiers, the forensic teams,
Yeah.
the families, everyone.
Everyone.
So we've got this repatriation happening.
Right, yeah.
We've got this identification process.
Yeah.
And these families just waiting.
In agony.
It's just a lot.
It is a lot, and it brings up a question that's bigger than this one event.
Okay.
How do we, as societies, balance this need for closure with international relations
Oh.
and politics and all of these things?
Oh, they'll tie it together.
They are.
Yeah.
The decisions made, the deals struck, they have ripple effects.
Of course.
They impact the families, obviously.
Right.
But they could also affect future peace negotiations.
It's a lot to consider.
It is.
A lot to think about.
It is.
It's a really heavy thought to leave our listeners with,
Yeah,
but it's an important one.
it is.
The return of these hostages.
All right.
It's really just one chapter.
In a much bigger story.
Yeah.
One that's still being written.
And it makes you think about the human cost of conflict
Absolutely.
and how do we achieve justice
Right.
while still seeking peace.
It's finding that balance.
Yeah.
It's a challenge we all face.
It is.
Individually and globally.
Well said.
Yeah. It's complicated.
Very complicated.
Yeah.
Thank you so much for joining me for this deep dive.
Thank you for having me.
It was great having you.
I appreciate it.
And we'll see you next time.
See you then. Bye.
Bye.